It's been a while since I've done a video, and I thought I'd try and get back into it by starting a mini project slash mod series based on the GBA, a Game Boy Advance. And my plan is to try and build or create the ultimate Game Boy Advance console, or at least based on my specific or personal needs. And I've got a few of the different systems in front of me here. They've all got their own pros and cons, but I'd like to take all the best features of the different versions and put them all into the one system with a few little extras added on, and I'll explain that in more detail in just a moment. But first of all, I'll quickly explain to you what I like and dislike about each of the different versions. So the first one we've got here is the Micro. This is the smallest of all the GBAs. It fits in your palm, it's tiny, it's got a really nice quality backlit screen on it, it's got a built-in battery, rechargeable, and the cartridges just go there. The only problem with this is it's tiny, so it's not very comfortable to use, at least not for someone with the size of my hands, so you end up getting a bit cramped after a while. But this is probably one of, well, I'm going to say they're all one of my favourites because they've all got their own features that I like, but this is really nice, a really nice quality console. It's made of metal and it is properly portable. Next up we've got the SP. This is the clamshell designed version. Again, it's got a built-in rechargeable battery. The cartridges go into the bottom here like that. It folds open. It's got a, well, this particular one's now got a backlit screen in it. Originally it just came with a frontlit screen, but this has now got the really nice bright AGS 101 version screen in it. It's comfortable to use, but again, after a while using these shoulder buttons you get a bit cramped up. And finally we've got the original GBA, Game Boy Advance. This is the biggest of all of them. It's the most comfortable to hold. It's got a big screen in the middle. It's not backlit. It doesn't have any lighting at all in this, or at least the original one didn't. It's bigger. It's got a battery cover in the back, so it doesn't have rechargeable batteries built into it. You need to use your own AA's, but it is nice and comfortable to use. And that's the original one there. So I want to base my ultimate system off this form factor. My plan is to use this as my base unit. This is a pre-modified GBA that I bought from eBay a few years ago. It's had the backlit screen installed into it, and I got this when it was cheaper just to buy a pre-modified unit than it was to buy the actual kit. So I'm going to be taking the screen and everything out of this one and putting it into that one there. The other thing I'm going to do is use this. This is a aftermarket device from Joytech. It's a hand grip slash rechargeable battery unit all in one. So inside this you've got your rechargeable batteries. These don't work anymore, so they'll need replaced. But you've just plugged this into the back of the console, like so, and it makes it much nicer to hold. It's more like a PlayStation 4 type situation where you've got a nice big chunky controller, and you just plug the adapter into the bottom here. You can charge this up, or you can charge it into the, well, plug it into the wall and play it as you charge type deal. And I'll just quickly show you the screen on this. There we go. Nice and bright backlit screen. So that'll be getting taken out of here and put into that one there, along with this this battery pack slash handheld unit type deal. I'll be taking this apart and replacing the batteries in this, but that is the overall goal. But today I'm going to be focusing on a specific thing that has always bugged me about the original GBA, and that's the shoulder buttons. So you push down on these, there's really no tactile feedback, they're really squishy and they just feel a bit rubbish. So I'm going to be trying to address that by switching out the switches that are inside the console. And what I've done is I've bought a load of these here. These are little Momentary push buttons. I got these on eBay. I think they were about £1 or £2 or something, very cheap, and they're really clicky. They make a nice click. They're made of hard plastic, whereas I think the ones inside the GBA are made of rubber, so you don't get that nice click and you don't really have any proper feedback from them. So I'm going to be taking this apart, desoldering the little switches and putting these ones in their place. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to have a shot at it anyway. Another thing I'll be doing to the final system is replacing the screen protector. This one is made out of glass and the original one is made out of plastic. So these are more prone to scratching, and the glass ones just seem to give a much clearer image. So that will be one of the things I'll be doing for the final system as well. To start with, let's get this thing taken apart and I'll switch out these shoulder buttons and see if those replacements work or not. As I say, it's just an experiment, it might not work, but we'll soon find out. This is the main board now removed, as you can see, and I had to disconnect the ribbon cable to the screen just at the top there. This is held in by 2 screws, just either side, and now we can get access to the micro switch. This is what I'll be removing, this wee bit here, and this is the replacement, as you can see. They're close enough match. These have got little plastic lugs underneath, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, and it's soldered in 2 places here, so it should be pretty easy to remove. So this definitely isn't going to be the easiest thing to film when I try and desolder it, but I'll do my best. I'm just going to heat up the solder pads there, gently pry these out. A little bit of flux in there. That's the old switch now. I had to give up trying to film it because it was just too difficult trying to get the angle right, and I'm going to end up burning the board if I keep trying to film and do this at the same time. But as you can see, that's where the little legs used to stick through, and that's the backing plate for the switch. So what I'll do now is I'll manipulate the legs on this replacement into place and get that soldered in there. And there we go, that's the replacement now in place. Click, 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 and that's the original one, not so clicky. So I'm going to quickly put this back together again and just test that this works okay before I desolder this one, and do the same on that side. I might also put a little bit of glue, super glue, just between the metal plate and the switch, because these replacements don't have the little plastic tabs to go through the metal backing plate there. So yeah, let's test this out. I've done a partial reassembly just to test this out. So this is the side with the original button, and this is the replaced one. As you can hear, nice and clicky, nice and responsive. So I would say that is a success, at least for me. I know some people don't like clicky micro switch buttons, but I do. So that's perfect. I'll just start this up again. I'm just turn the volume down quickly. There we go. Yeah. That works great. So what I'll do now is I'll replace the other side, and that'll be that for this part of the series and the mod, the GBA mod. That's everything back together again, and as you can hear, I've replaced both sides and they work great. I've tested it out with a game and it works no problem at all. I'll quickly give you a demonstration of the old one. They're horrible in comparison now. They're so spongy and unresponsive. I know this isn't everyone's kind of thing, not everyone likes a clicky micro switch type button, but for me that's perfect, and that's been a really good success. So I'll leave it in the description some details about the buttons I've used for doing this mod, but yeah, that worked out pretty good. So the next video, I think I will concentrate on switching the screen from this one to that one and replacing this plastic cover. But otherwise, yeah, that's it for this part of the series. If you've got any suggestions or ideas, leave me a comment and I'll have a look at those. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.